Hello, my fellow creatives. I hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to play around in Suno, but we're going to do something pretty unique. We're going to take one of my YouTube performances and we are going to feed it into Suno and see what happens. This is how it sounds. Let's take a quick listen. All right, you get the idea. So it's a rather eclectic song, very free in terms of expression and beat. So we're going to take this audio and we are going into Suno to have some fun with it. Okay, so without much ado, I am going to load this into Suno, and as we do that, we'll continue listening to this track a little bit more, and when it's all loaded, I'll let you know. Come to go kiss, when the world. Okay, here we go. So now we've got it all loaded in, and what I like about this is the fact that you can actually load up to 8 minutes of audio. If you were trying to do this by recording directly into Suno, it wouldn't let you. So this is pretty cool. I'm gonna hit save, cover, I'm gonna let it all get loaded up there, and then I'm gonna hit continue, and the real fun is going to be in the prompt. So the initial rhythm is from the keyboard known as Go Keys 5. I believe I made up this song on the fly, just kind of improvising as I went along. So it'll be fun to see if this thing can detect the lyrics, because I had all sorts of effects going on the keyboard. It was playing a full-on accompaniment, and then on my voice as well, it was kind of echoing and there was some delays. So, oh, it actually did get it. Look. So I'm going to change the words. Welcome to AI Creatives. When the world feels heavy, shadows start to fall. Yeah, that's right. Those are the words. Did it get it but through it all? Okay. Okay, well, we don't want all that. I should have trimmed it. You know, I forgot there was a part at the end. Yeah. I forgot there was a part at the end where I spoke, but that's all good. Hopefully it will be able to detect that it's not needed. So let me say Injazzy, bluesy, free tempo, jazzy vocals, avant-garde, at times style, saxophone solos, complex, breathtaking, vocal riffs, experimental. And I'll put a link to where you can watch the full video if you want. The audio influence is gonna be at least towards the 75 range. Style influence, maybe around that as well. It's not a conventional song. When the world feels heavy. Okay, well, let's see what Suno can do with this. This is not a straightforward song, you know. And Suno has done quite well with non-straightforward songs in the past, so we'll see what it can do with this. All right, well, here we go. Hoping for the best. Let's check it out. That's crazy.
two, four.
Wow. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely crazy. I didn't think I was gonna get that great an output from that song. What? I mean, it followed the feel, it followed everything, and it added some spice to it. Pretty exciting. This is where the argument falls apart. When people tell you that there's no soul, there's no soul in AI music, it depends on the input. If the input already has soul, well, I wanna wager that that soul is picked up and continued. So it's a very subjective statement that doesn't hold as much truth. If you're hearing melodies and lyrics and chords and rhythm, those are the things we as humans relate to, and they evoke emotion. I remember way back there was this really popular song in the 70s that caught like wildfire. I can't remember what it's called. Um, there's actually a couple of them, one in the 70s and one in the 80s. You might have heard it. It goes do 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 do, and it just keeps almost repeating, and it has a little cadence. And then there's another one that goes something like do 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 do. And that's all kind of electronic music, but it evokes some emotions. So for someone to just say anything AI is soulless, it's that's not a true statement. To be quite honest, as a listener, I've listened to a lot of music that I created, and I know my music, right? And it evokes emotions. You could say it's sentiment because I'm the composer, but I want to wager that other people feel that. And I've heard actually from a number of my listeners who have been listening to my music as Phil the creator, they tell me that they love some of the tracks, they have their favorites. So it's just an untrue statement, and there's a difference between being a critic versus just being a grenade, just trying to tear down anything that is AI. If you want to come at us with an AI critique, come with something else, something with more substance. Not just saying, "Oh, AI music is soulless." That's a very myopic statement. So anyway, I'm quite happy with the results that we just heard. I'm gonna play the second one. let's see. Let's see if it will hold up to my analysis. Here we go.
Welcome to I Creatives. When the world feels heavy,
That saxophone is crazy. Wow. Wow. This is just ill. This is ill. Yes, I know there are artifacts. I know there are those little clips and buzzes and stuff, but OMG. I don't know. You drop me a comment. What do you think of that performance? And to round this off, I'm just going to play for you the original performance on Go keys, and you let me know what you think about Suno's interpretation of my song. Now, this is actually a very good case study because people would often say, oh, Suno just is for lazy people. But no, I put a lot of heart and soul into the original composition. I performed it live, as you can see, so there's no trickery involved. You see, this is a musician performing a song, but when you take that song and you feed it into Suno, you give it the right prompt, you get a totally different feel. It doesn't change the fact that I wrote the song. So let's not get it twisted. Let's listen. Here it comes.
Thank you for joining me today on Go Keys College. I hope the jam session gives you some idea of the possibilities of the keyboard. Don't forget to smash the like button. I'll see you in the next episode.
All right, my friends. Well, there you saw the full performance. To be quite honest, I really enjoyed seeing my creation come to life in a number of other voices. In fact, why don't we just top one up for the road? Let's go back in there and do just one more. We are then going to use a male vocal this time. We are going to leave the settings as is because it gave me some really great output. I'm not going to reinvent that wheel. Let's go ahead and click remix, and I'll just play a snippet, not the whole thing, because we're already far gone beyond our time. I wanted to cap it around 25, so we're 1 minute over. Let's just do very short, see what else it can do with this song. Here we go. Let's get the audio on. All right, here we go. Didn't press the right thing. Hang on. Gotta turn it up from here. It's quite convenient. It has its own volume button there. Anyway, let's go. Here we go. That's gonna be fun to listen to. I love that kind of stuff. All right, let's pretty sick, man. Waiting for another key change. Oh my goodness. He got those key changes. My oh my. Talk about absolutely wild. Absolutely. Wow. So let's unpack what just happened because there's a lesson to be learned from this. You see, the lesson that I have learned from this episode is I think what AI will end up doing in the long run is helping the serious musicians become even better. Because hearing this interpretation of my own music is opened up a wormhole of possibilities. And some of those solos, those riffs that you're hearing from the sax, those would give any saxophonist worth his or her salt further ideas to capitalize on in the middle of a solo. So as opposed to being, narrow-mindedly looking at AI as an enemy, honestly, to those who are true musicians through and through, true producers through and through, the way I see this helping us is those who want to take it up a notch, they'll take it up a notch. They'll get better. They'll listen and they'll be able to incorporate those ideas. Now, it's my creation. AI didn't write this. I want to wager that for AI to even remotely write this with all the twists and turns and inflections from scratch, you would have to be like a world-class master prompter. And as I told you, the lyrics were improvised. I had an idea of the chordal structure, and then the transpositions were all at the spur of the moment. I went from C to D to E to F minor. So I was going C minor, D minor, E minor, F minor. I went to F sharp major seventh. I came back down to F minor. I was all over the place. And this tool was able to detect what I was doing and follow and give good output. Honestly, if that doesn't give ideas about how the future will look, I don't know what will. So the future is not going to be the narrow-minded few or many controlling the narrative. You can't use AI. How dare you? I mean, come on now. We're in 2025. Let's evolve as a species. Let's use some common sense. Let's sit at the table. Let's do things ethically. Let's do things respectfully. And that's why anyone commenting on this channel, come with EQ, emotional intelligence. If I see any senseless grenades hurling insults, I'm sorry, that's an unsafe space. Those will be deleted. But if you have something negative to say about AI in context and professionalism without cursing, you see, I don't understand why people need to curse to put their point across. I hate that mindset. I hate that attitude. So I want us, as humans, let's look at AI. Let's put on a common sense hat and let's objectively look at the pros and the cons. Yes, there are cons, a lot of cons, and a lot of con men, and some of these are companies. But anyway, I'll keep that for a different day. But the idea is to be respectful, but to move forward as a unit. We don't all have to agree. It's dumb to think everyone needs to agree that AI is the way forward in music. I can understand when people say it could hurt music, and I agree, it could. But if it's done in good taste with people like you, who maybe you're a leader in the world of music, you need to take a stand in all honesty, objectiveness, and ethics, and lead the way forward instead of just hurling rocks from behind a car. Anyway, enough said. You get the idea. Thanks for joining. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. I'll see you next time.